Now, the former Scottish Labour MP, Danielle Rowley's been among those sharing concerns. We can talk to her, and Matt Kilcoyne from the Adam Smith Institute, who's more eager to see lockdown lifted soon. Matt, you think that both governments have been pretty childish, don't you?
I do. I mean, a lot of I think that a lack of direction from the UK government isn't helping. I think part of the sort of breakdown in communications between the Scottish and the UK government is partly down to the fact that the UK government hasn't quite made up its mind on what various measures are going to be at an English and a UK level, and partly down to the fact that every time they do decide something, Nicola Sturgeon announces it 3 hours early, or the Welsh First Minister Mark Drakeford announces it a few hours early to the press, and it's churlish on both parts to not take this as a national effort. The public sees this as a national effort, and I think politicians playing political games is just not helpful to anybody.
Danielle, do you see political games being played? Because the politicians, although the golden rule of media training is never to say what you're not doing, but always the politicians will say, well, we're not being political.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think even just hearing earlier today from Nicola Sturgeon that Boris Johnson was supposed to hold a Cobra meeting today or tomorrow, but he hadn't told her, so she didn't know. And then there's meant to be this call that's taking place and no one knows what's going on there. And it almost is as if they're trying to one-up each other. And we need to really keep in mind that...
They say they're not, though, Danielle. I hate interrupting, but the one thing they will say is this is above politics. This is a four-nation approach. We're on one bit of land and we're cooperating.
Oh, I mean, they say that, and it absolutely should be. You know, it should be an approach where, first and foremost, we think that people's lives are at risk here and people are dying here. But then they can't say it's a four nations approach when, you know, apparently now the Cobra meeting won't be until Sunday. But then, of course, the Prime Minister's given his announcement on Sunday. So he's obviously not taking into account, you know, the thoughts of all of the nations when he's having the Cobra meeting on the same day as the announcement. But I think, you know, you're right, the public are getting really frustrated with this sort of politicking of the issue.